we are going to be doing a tier list video today. I've done a couple of these in the past. I think they're kind of fun. Maybe you guys don't. Let me know in the comments below. We have it sorted from Airs to the regular iPads, to the Pros, and the Minis. I don't know why it's sorted up like this. I think it'd be best if we started with the first iPad ever first. Okay, we're going to start it with C tier, but let's go over what it was good for. So it was the first iPad ever brought, like, it told everyone what the iPad was about, but it didn't have camera. It only got 2 years of software support. So to be honest, as much as it was cool as a display, honestly, I think it actually deserves to be, we'll see. It's average, starting something new, but it wasn't that cool. Okay, and then the iPad 2 brought a camera, faster chip, it got more software support, FaceTime, didn't have Siri, didn't have the Retina display yet, but it was still cool nonetheless. I do think it's better than that first iPad, but I don't think it's A tier, so I think B is perfect for it, where I just accidentally put it. Now this probably is a first F tier. The third iPad, it just got replaced 6 months later, and it had a 30-pin, it got a Retina display, but it just made it slower. It got the same amount of support as the iPad 2, and overall, it just didn't end off great, especially after it was replaced with the iPad 4 just soon after, which this one was pretty good. It brought Lightning, it still had the Retina display, had a faster chip and everything. I don't think it's as good as the iPad. Okay, we could probably put it as the iPad 1 levels, maybe D tier. We'll mess around with that, I guess, for a minute. But then we didn't have any more regular iPads for a minute, and we went with the Mini lineup next. Now, the first Mini didn't have a Retina display, it had a kind of a slow chip, also got stuck on iOS 9, and it kind of sucks there. I'll be generous and I'll put it on B tier. Yes, it's slow on iOS 9, same with the iPad 2, but I do think it's better than the original iPad for that regard, because before we had plus-size phones, this was a great device. This design stuck around for forever. 2013, we'll just do the iPad Mini 2 real quick, but this one still got the same chip and the same software support as the iPad Mini 3. So if I put this one in D tier, I'm going to put the Mini 3 in B tier. I think it's just as good as the Mini 1. I know we're skipping ahead. I need to do some other iPads. But back to the Air 1. This one was the first, they kind of wanted to revamp the iPad lineup for a minute. They kind of want to get rid of just the regular iPad name, which is okay. But they ended up going with iPad Air, which was really just a replacement to the iPad 4, which is fine. It was thinner. It was thinner than a pencil. I love seeing those commercials and ads and everything. Probably first A tier. Actually, we'll put this in B tier, but the Air 2, I think, deserves to be in A tier, because this one brought so much to the table, and it got so much software support too. That chip lasted a really long time, and the A8X was really good. And then we go to 2015, where they kind of got rid of the Air lineup as well. They couldn't stick around for more than 2 years. We went to the Pros, but first we'll just do the Mini real quick. The Mini 4, it got basically the iPad Air 2 treatment. It kind of stuck around for 4 years before it was updated. It just stayed on the website. Everyone thought it was going to get discontinued. Didn't bring much else besides the chip and updated camera, but to be honest, I think it's C tier. It's not a bad product. It's not good either. So I think it's our first, matches up with the iPad 1 pretty well. Then for the first iPad Pro, so we'll put it in A tier. But the first iPad Pro, it was actually, okay, this one, I think it needs to be in B tier, sorry. But this one was the first 12.9-inch iPad. It was huge, had Apple Pencil support, it had that new chip, and it just got outdated, and it got up to iOS 16. It just got discontinued with iOS 17. So honestly, this product lasted a long time. They only released one iPad in 2016, and that was the update to the iPad Pro, except for it wasn't a second generation. It was just a smaller version if you wanted a smaller tablet. It was a 9.7, so they basically brought back the iPad Air style, because they didn't really have an update to the iPad Air. So this one, it's pretty good. This one's actually a little bit better than this one. It's surprisingly, they didn't know what they were doing with the iPad Pro lineup at this point, but this one, it was good, but I don't think it deserves as near as good as this one, especially after the 2017 iPad Pro, which was a great upgrade. This is the first update to the actual 2015 iPad Pro, and it updated the 2016 one, but it brought ProMotion, so I think that one is also an A tier product, because it brought ProMotion, and it had a much better camera. I had the iPhone 7's camera and everything, and ProMotion, and it's still being updated today. I think for the first few years, again, with the iPad Pros, were pretty good. So I think this one deserves A tier. S tier for 2018, right out of the gate, I think is the iPad Pro 2018. It brought the bezel-less design. You got Face ID on all angles. A still fantastic chip. Apple is still not known how to top this design. So this one, it's still pretty good. So this one is the only S tier I think we're ever going to have of an iPad. This one, it peaked right here. That one is the perfect iPad. It had the Apple Pencil 2 support, which would go on the side. It was so much at once, and this is still a great product. Oh shoot, I forgot. In 2017, they brought back the regular iPad lineup because they didn't bring back the Air lineup for whatever reason. They brought a new chip and they had the new design, but it wasn't like anything crazy. So I think it should deserve C tier. And then back to 2018, early in March, they did just like a student conference where they updated this iPad. It was kind of a weird event. It wasn't even like an official Apple event, but it didn't bring too much besides like a new chip. But it brought Apple Pencil support to the regular iPad, which was the first time it done that. So it was perfect for students who wanted this iPad. So this one for Apple Pencil support and stuff, we'll give it C tier, and we'll give iPad 5 D tier. Actually, I think that's pretty good. Then in 2019, they finally like kind of fixed their iPad lineup. I feel like for a couple of years they didn't know what they want to do. Oh, do we want to have a Pro? Do we want to have an Air? Do we want to have a regular? They didn't really know. So in 2019, they finally brought back the iPad Air after 5 years, which is crazy. But it brought an A12 chip. It was basically the 2017 iPad Pro, but dumbed down a little bit. Didn't have ProMotion. Still had a good chip, but didn't have as good a camera. But so because of that, I'm not gonna put it up here in status, but I can give it B tier. It was pretty good. And then also that year, for a product that hadn't been updated in also 5 years, iPad Mini. They finally brought back the iPad Mini. This one also was basically got the same things as the iPad Air 3. It had the new chip. It was a dumbed down basically iPad Pro, but in a mini version. Basically the iPad Air Mini was basically what it was. It was the same specs for the most part. So we'll put that just same, because those are basically the same products, we'll put them together. And then later in 2019, they gave us the iPad 7, which was the A10 chip. Same chip as the iPad 6, which was weird because these were 18 months apart. But it was a bigger display. It was 10.5 inches on like 9.7. So I think that alone justifies, we can put it in the same category. iPad 7, iPad 6 are together. I think that's pretty decent. Now, when the virus was crazy, we got the 2020 iPad Pro, which was the first update to this generation ever. We didn't know what we were really expecting. We got the new keyboard though. I remember that commercial when it came out because I think we were gonna get an SE2 and this in an event. But since COVID came out, they didn't have an event. They just released it as a press release, which is cool. I still like this iPad. I think this one's one of the better of the few upgrades we've gotten from the iPad Pros, but it's not anything great. So I'll put it in D tier. Cool iPad, but it wasn't like anything amazing. And then we had the 2020 iPad Air 4, which this got the 2018 iPad Pro treatment finally, which because of that, it didn't have 120 hertz, but it still had it was 10.9 inch size, which is just it had just slightly thicker bezels than 11 inch. Didn't have ProMotion. Didn't have the two cameras like this one that just got released 6 months earlier, but it had Apple Pencil 2 support, which was nice, and it got the Magic Keyboard, which is nice. So I think this one, like, nothing's gonna be S tier because this is S tier, but I think it can deserve A tier just because it got the 2018 iPad Pro design. So I think that one deserves to be up there. That's what I'm gonna say about the iPad 10 as well, even though we haven't even got to iPad 9, and the Mini 6, just because it got the new design. I think those deserve to be an A tier. Hey everyone, Future Riker here. I am currently editing this video and I just realized, why did I put the iPad 10 in A tier? It does not deserve A tier. If I would have done this video last year, I would have said F tier, but luckily since we got the new USB-C Apple Pencil, it's not that bad of a deal, and the price has gone down a little bit on Amazon stuff because it's been a year old now, and you can find it used and everything. So I guess the price isn't a big deal, but like, if I had to say, I would probably put this in D or E tier if I had to redo this again. I don't know what I was thinking, but it's still so expensive and doesn't have a laminated display, and the pencil is weird. So it does not deserve A tier, but I guess it doesn't deserve F tier anymore either. So I'm gonna say D or E tier. Finishing up 2020, we got the iPad 8, which this one got the new chip, but that was it. It's basically the iPad 7, but the new chip, because it didn't get the new chip. This didn't get the new chip, so this one got the new chip. I think that one, perfect. That one's the E tier. That one can be an E tier, because it's not, I think, just a chip upgrade. At least these have like some camera things. Most of these have had other things, but chip upgrades. This was just a chip upgrade. And the iPad 9, this one got the center stage camera and everything, and a new chip. So personally, I think this one is a little bit better than this. We can put that in D tier. I think that one matches up perfectly. And then to finish out 2021, we got the M1 iPad Pros, which is cool because it got the M1 chip and got Thunderbolt and everything, but it wasn't like that great. So I can see why most people would think this one's better than this one, because everyone thought that we were gonna get like Final Cut and macOS on this once the M1 chip came to this. It didn't, but I still think this one's better than the 2020 version, even though it was updated a year after. So we could put this in C tier, but it's not like anything great. And then with 2022, we had the iPad Air 5, which got the M1 chip, but that was like really it. It wasn't too anything too crazy. That one also can be an E tier because it's not that cool. And then to finish it off, the last iPad update we ever got, the newest iPad Pros, which gotta suck. So they can be an F tier because there's no point in getting one of these when you have the M1 chips. So I think that is my tier list right here. Do you guys have anything? Would you guys change anything? Do you guys like my tier list? I think this is a good tier list. So let me know what you guys would change in the comments below. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe, and peace out.